Welcome back. This is Plinko video 2, where we're actually going to go ahead and do the simulation now. Alright, so everything's built. You want to keep the puck separate. Let's go ahead and pull that up. Okay, let's go ahead and select everything but the puck. Okay, and then let's go ahead and make sure we combine that. And let's go ahead and center pivot, delete by type history, and freeze transformations. And then we're going to go ahead and take the puck. Let's go to the side view here, and let's go ahead and lean it back 15 degrees. Control A. If you need to go more, if your puck flies out for some reason, you need to go more, you just go ahead and do that, but I'm going to do 15 degrees. And the puck, we'll make sure that we also rotate it 15 degrees. Alright, and we'll go ahead and place it just above the board. Okay. And usually you place the puck pretty close to, so we don't want it to bounce off. We can't have it touching anything, active rigid body and a passive rigid body. When you start the simulation, they have to be separated by some space. And of course you can just kind of play around with where you want it to start. I'm just going to start in the middle. That's a good spot. Okay, so just make sure everything's the history is deleted, and we're going to delete the and freeze transformations. Make sure this is the same way. Freeze transformations on. Let's just clear everything out. That's a really good place to start. So everything's cleared out, deleted by type history, centered the pivot, and we froze transformations. Alright, so now we're ready to start the simulation. Everything looks good. Let's go ahead and click on the puck and make it an active rigid body. So go fields and solvers, go to active rigid body. Okay, and then we've got, click on the object that you want it to collide with, and go to field solvers and create a passive rigid body. Okay, and so we need to add gravity to the puck. Let's go ahead and go to field solvers and add a gravity. Alright, so that should be it, and that's all you have to do. And let's go ahead and play, and that looks pretty good. It's kind of bouncy, but I don't mind that. There you go. And so it's simulated around, let's give it about 300 frames. Let's just say this one will be 300 frames. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that's simulated at least once. And let's go ahead and play it again. Okay, great. Alright, awesome. So that looks good. If you're happy with that, what you can do is just play around with it a little bit, find out where you'd like to start it, play it a couple times, and then I want you to go to modify, and we're going to go ahead and, let's see here, not modify, edit, and we're going to go to bake simulation. So we want to bake that simulation out. So what I would do before you go any further, make sure you save it. And we'll do Plinko finish. Okay. And I didn't really save it before we did our simulation, but I have enough saves in here. I would definitely make sure you do that. Too late to do it now. Of course, you know, if you want to go ahead and take the rigid bodies off of this, you can do that. Pretty easy. You can go to edit, and you can go to delete by type, all by type. So delete all by type rigid bodies. That's how you can do that. So I don't want to do that, but this is what you would do. Okay. So rigid bodies, you could do that, and you'd probably want to select the object 2, the passive rigid body, and take the rigid bodies off of that too as well. So, but right now it's playing pretty well. It looks really good. And so what I want to do is I want to bake a simulation. What that entails is that what it'll do is it'll do the simulation frame by frame and keyframe it, each frame. Okay. And that's a good thing, because if you have a very dense scene, like 1,000,000 polygons or so, and it's taken forever for this to, actually go through its simulation because it's so slow, that once you bake the simulation, it will play in real time. It'll take and bake it. You don't have to simulate anymore. It's already got the keyframes in there, and so you can actually use it in your animations with millions of polygons. So you don't have to sit there and wait for it to simulate. So that's why we have a baked simulation. So it allows us to frees us up to add more things to our scene and have that simulation play. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on the object you want to bake, and then we go to Edit, go to Keys, and we'll go to Bake Simulation, go into the option box. Just go ahead and edit, reset settings, just in case you are using another computer, or you may have jacked with this a little bit and you need to make sure that it's cleaned up. So we want the default settings. Go ahead and bake, and it played pretty quickly. Once you bake simulation, you're pretty much done. There it is. So now it's playing in real time. It's playing whatever you have set for your preferences. So I've got, let's see, play every frame, and then 24 frames per second times 1. Okay. All right. So I don't think I saved that. Okay. There we go. And so now it's just going to play in real time. There we go. Okay, great. And it's gonna usually when you simulate, it may be different every single time, but when you bake it, it'll find its way back every single time. It'll play exactly the same way every single time, which is kind of nice. Here we go. All right, so you're gonna save this for me. Okay, so you're gonna do a play blast, get kind of an angle there. You don't have to have wireframe on, as long as you added Lambert's materials on here. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Let's go ahead and save that. There we go. I'll probably put sim and bake. Right, and do a play blast. And the play blast should be encoded with xvid. I noticed that I've had problems when I clear everything out, like get rid of the preferences. My for some reason the xvid went away. All you have to do is just type in a search bar xvid compression, and you should be able to download it again. And you'll just have to make sure mine is shut down, and then reinstall the xvid and then open it back up. And now it may say xvid's installed. What you want to do is go ahead and install over top of it, and then when you open up it'll find it again. Okay, so view ornaments. Show ornaments just basically means that you want to show the grid. You don't have to show the grid, or there's symbols in here. It just means that we don't want to show those. And we want quality at 100. We want to frame this up nicely like we have, from window scale all the way up, and then frame padding at 3 because we're at 300. So basically 3 digits. So 300, that is what that means. So if we had 1,000, we'd have 4. Alright, so moving on. Plinko, you want to put your first name in there. And it's just module 08. Let's go to the desktop this time. And let's call this Plinko. There we go. Be descriptive. Alright, and save. And then play blast. And that should work. It shouldn't take long. It's not going to be like our liquid simulation was. Looks good. Alright, perfect. So that's what you'll turn in for the Plinko machine. Okay, hope you had fun. It's a lot of fun if you guys want to go a little bit further and texture it and add the Plinko name on there. You can easily do that in Photoshop and all that. But have fun, enjoy. It's pretty simple. This is a pretty simple week. Okay, so the next one we're going to do, and the next thing is the modeling of the bowling alley, and we'll see you in that video.